This conversation is a lot deeper than I thought it would be.
Maybe I'm not beautiful if I have short hair.
Is that how you feel?
That's what I know.
I think it's an incomplete statement. So when people say 4C hair is tough if you don't look after it.
I feel like I don't love my hair.
So you don't love yourself?
I don't love myself or my hair.
Wow. Why do you use fairy liquid to wash your hair?
My hair's short, brittle, and it was the size of my bun was the size of a man's little thing. I can have a bonnet on for months. Coming to having dreams about me having long hair. And I'm like, God, please let me have long hair. I've been in a situation where a guy has said to me, in bedroom, put your wig on.
Oh.
Put your wig on now.
I don't think you're gonna get to where you wanna get to if you don't do it.
I feel that's your opinion.
Okay, so what is your opinion?
My opinion is if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's not gonna grow.
Why won't it grow?
Because you're not looking after it.
If I were to ever have kids, I'll cut my kids' hair off.
Why?
I just didn't want to deal with the hair. Okay. And I think it goes actually really deep where I was like, I don't want to date within my race so I can avoid that issue. And I know that wicked people hair don't grow.
Do you think you're wicked? Oh.
But it was more mainly girls like me that are saying the same thing in my comment section. And it, like I said, it made me feel so low about myself because I was like, this is literally taking me back to year 7.
Therefore, your disregard for your hair, in my opinion, is a trauma response. Fuck length.
Yeah.
Length will come if health comes first.
Right.
And you'll look in the mirror like Medi does, and she'll be like, but this is gorgeous. Yeah. This is amazing. I love this.
It's my time to shine. If you doubt it, I'll do it. Love's on my side, so I'll prove it. It's my time to shine. If you doubt it, I'll do it. Love's on my side, so I'll prove it. Hey, yeah.
It's midday.
Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Midday Oni, the one and only. And you guys are back watching another episode of the Midday Show, but the interview segment, which I've decided to call On the Record. So, before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Grab your drinks, your cocktails, your mocktails, whatever it is that you guys are drinking, and let's get into it. Welcome to On the Record, a platform for individuals to speak their truth, discuss their thoughts, and own their stories. We will be having candid conversations, dissecting various events, and asking the questions that we're all eager to know, and hopefully coming to graceful conclusions. I'm your host, Midday Oni, the one and only. Let's get into it. Today, I am joined by a special guest who has joined in on the conversation of the natural hair discourse. It has been an ongoing topic on TikTok, Instagram, all over the world. And she's here to shed light on her views, her practices, and some of the things that she disagrees when it comes to natural hair. Welcome to the show, Wendy.
Hi, Midday.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
How was your journey in?
It was okay. It was quick and short.
Yeah, love that for you. I'm loving the hair today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, at least you're not dragging me today.
No, I mean, I might drag you a little bit.
Go ahead.
Just a tiny bit.
Everyone's dragging me anyway, so.
Yes, I might just, no, I won't drag you actually. Let me not say that. I will offer my educational advice.
Okay.
Yeah? But before we get into that, Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Wendy? What do you do for a living? Give us a few pointers into who you are.
So I'm Wendy, 23.
Yes.
And so I do take content quite seriously at the moment, but prior to this, I was an estate agent.
Oh, nice.
And it was working out until when it's not working out anymore. So now we are here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Obviously, we are here to discuss natural hair, your journey with your natural hair. So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Let's go back as far as you can remember. What has your natural hair journey been like?
I've never had a natural hair journey.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even care about even having a natural hair journey. Like, it didn't seem important to me. But one thing I did feel deeply to it was like, even when my mum had longer hair than me, I remember I started crying. That's something that was so rooted deep into me, because I was like, oh, you have longer hair than me. How come my hair is not long? You know, and she'll be like, oh, you're just like, you know, you're being jealous. Like, you know, being a
Your
jealous
mum would say you're being jealous.
you know, being a jealous little kid, because like, why is, you know?
Oh, so so in that moment, she didn't like educate you on your hair or say,
No.
or she didn't reinforce the fact that, you know, you're beautiful.
Of course, like she said that your hair's fine, and your hair's good or whatever, it'll grow in its own time.
Okay.
Or like your hair came from
Your dad's side. Girl,
the dad's side,
the shade.
You know, my auntie's hair's a bit short.
Oh,
But yeah, no, literally. So I didn't really take my hair so seriously, and obviously going to secondary school as well, people be like, "Oh, your hair's so shit. Why the fuck is it looking like that?" And I remember when I straightened my hair, they were like, "Oh, your hair's actually fried," and cut it. Like I said, what's going on right now? Everything I was hearing was the same thing I heard in secondary school.
So what were the things that you would hear in secondary school?
Things I heard in school say, oh, you're a black girl, you should know what you're doing with your hair. Yeah, and it's coming from girls like me, not other races or, you know, other, you know, people that had, you know what I'm trying to say, like other races, yeah. So, it wasn't only to me as well. It was another girl in my year. She had short hair and she was a bigger girl as well. And they also made fun of her hair to the point she had to cut it all off.
Wow.
So seeing as natural hair discourse, this is what it is, I just felt like, so secondary school. So no one wants to take the time to educate and show people, oh yeah, this is what you can actually do with your hair. People feel like, oh yeah, take this advice and then go with it. But you've tried it on your own hair. What do you mean it's gonna work on my hair? You know what I mean? Like, how is it gonna work on my hair if it's not working? If it's working on yours, good, but it's not gonna work on mine.
So from secondary school, do you feel as though your hair has always been like a tricky topic for you?
100%.
Okay. And when people would make fun of your hair, how did that make you feel?
I felt so low with myself. This is the point where I knew that I was going crazy, because I remember I came in with, you know, sewing, and I had to lie to people and say, yeah, this is my actual hair.
And people believed you?
People didn't believe, you know, black girls. Your hair grew, but like, no, but this is something that was going on with me. Like, I came into school sewing, this is my natural hair, it's all growing because you can do the blending and all this stuff. Because I was so insecure. Even now that I'm 23 years old, you wouldn't even believe this today. I pray to God, I'm like, God, please let me have long hair. Literally, let me have long hair.
Do you associate having healthy hair with having long hair?
Yes.
Okay. So if you see somebody that has short hair, do you not think that their hair can be healthy?
Yes.
You do or you don't?
I don't think their hair's healthy for short.
Okay. Why is that?
Because it's not growing. Same position as me. If my hair's short, I understand. Okay, I understand. All right, cool. Your hair can be healthy and short. Yeah, I know that. But my end dream, my goal was to have long hair. Right?
What do you think that's rooted in?
What's that rooted in?
Let me rephrase the question. You feel as though if your hair is long, then it's healthy.
Yeah.
If it's short, it's not healthy because it's not growing.
I said, yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Because my hair's been short. It's not growing.
Oh, okay. So this is like an internalized thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've relaxed my hair. I've cut my hair multiple times. My hair's been dyed, blonde, like all these other colours. And I do take accountability. Yeah, I put my hair through all these distressing moments, but I just don't care anymore. I think at the end of the day, people put beauty with hair, and it's like...
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not beautiful if I have long hair. Or maybe I'm not beautiful if I, you know, have short hair.
Is that how you feel?
That's what I know.
That's what you know.
Because there are some guys, right? I've been in a situation where a guy has said to me, in bedroom, put your wig on.
Oh.
Put your wig on now. And I was like, oh. He goes, yeah, hair's so short, you're not looking after it, so there's no point in put your wig on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of the conversation has been around if you don't love your hair, then you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
Is that a statement that you would agree with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
I do
is
agree
that?
with that. Because I feel like I don't love my hair.
So you don't love yourself?
I don't love myself or my hair.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't love my hair because my hair was never really a part of me that I really took into consideration. Like I've had people say to me, "Oh, you're only taking pictures from up here. You're not caring about you only care about your hair. You're not caring about your body." So I stopped caring about my hair and then started eating more for my body. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I never really took it like, I never really put it together, and I don't feel like I have to anymore. I don't care.
You don't care?
Yeah, about my hair. No, I don't.
Why don't you care about your hair?
I don't care about my hair, dear.
Oh, why?
Because
But it grows from, like, no, I'm just trying to understand. I'm not obviously, like, I want you to love your hair. You know, I want you to, it grows out of your head. It's beautiful. God created your hair. He didn't make any mistakes, right? So I want you to love your hair. But I think I'm just trying to understand, like, what is it because you don't know how to look after your hair? So that's why you're just like, I can't be bothered with it. Like, what is can you pinpoint the root as to why you don't love your hair?
I think, obviously growing up, doing my hair, I used to feel when my mum used to do my hair in my toes. Like she used to pull, it was all the pain, all this stuff, sitting down for hours, getting my hair done. And I think that was just traumatic for me. And also going on to secondary school, how people was treating people because their hair wasn't long. You get what I'm trying to say? If you, like right now, if you were to step into secondary school, they'll be like, your hair's short, what's the point of that? And they'll be like, your cows, what cows? What hair do you have? And if you feel pretty that day, they'll be like, my hair's longer than yours.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter what if your hair's healthy and short. Yeah.
So you said earlier that your mum didn't really look after your hair. So this is something that has kind of started from when you were young. And let me ask you this. Do you feel as though your journey would have been different had you had a different experience with your mum looking after your hair?
I feel like I've seen my mum do her hair. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I've seen it sometimes, but obviously when you're having children, a lot of women do lose certain things about themselves. And this is a lot of women in general, not just my mum. But I didn't have enough education to know about hair. I just know put relaxer in it and it'll go back to normal, basically. So I've always been a relaxed hair kid. Even growing up, my hair's always been relaxed.
Did you relax your hair yourself or did you go and get it done professionally?
My mum used to help me and I'd do it myself. I don't go professionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you said that you don't have at this point, you don't care about your natural hair.
No, I just put my bonnet on and keep it moving. My bonnet can be on for months. I haven't, I can have a bonnet on for months. Wow. And I'll actually show you pictures as well of like what my hair looks like. It can go so matted. I don't comb it, I don't brush it, and it's just there.
God.
And I don't even look at my hair in the mirror.
I'm gonna need a minute to process what you've just said.
Take couple. Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's like I've ignored it. I walk past the mirror. I don't look at my hair. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's on my head. It's on my head. But that's the thing. I've come into having dreams about me having long hair, and I'm like, God, please let me have long hair. And then I started putting affirmations. Like when I'm doing my hair, I'm like, please let it grow. Let it grow. This is honestly raw life. And then I realized I think I'm much more hurt than I seem I am. But I'm putting it up like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Safe space.
So no, of course. Have you? This conversation is a lot deeper than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It is. This is going beyond just, like I don't like my hair. This is like a self-love thing, like obviously how you see yourself and this ideology that having long hair equates to beauty.
Yes.
And that's not true.
If anyone told me to cut my hair today, I'll tell them, no, I'm not cutting my hair. Who do you think you
are?
I
think my hair's not the longest and I think I'm absolutely stunning. But this is obviously, it's based on how you see yourself.
Right. I can look at you and be like, yeah, you're stunning. But in my head, I'm like, I don't like this short hair. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because I don't like my own short hair.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to pause right now.
Okay.
Yeah. That is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deep-rooted issues here that just go beyond the scope of loving your natural hair and things like that. But we're going to touch on that a bit later. Yeah. So obviously there was a viral moment.
Yes.
And you chimed in on the conversation. So Lyle's Choice mentioned that she didn't like her natural hair and she didn't think that it suited her face. And she also said that 4C hair, she believes that 4C hair is quite tough, to which you agreed.
What's your views on like natural hair? Like, let's say not any wigs or anything, just
I don't really have my natural hair out.
why?
I think it's tough. It's like my hair's 4C, so that's like tough hair.
Mhm.
It's annoying to deal with. It's stressful, and I don't think it suits my face. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Some girls like be natural and stuff and have your hair out. I'm not one of them.
Talk to me a bit more about that.
I think that's the most real shit she said. That is so real. You know, I don't like how my hair looks like on my face as well. I feel like I look more of a masculine features.
Okay.
And I feel like obviously me being a bigger, you know, black girl, it's like I look like a guy, you know? So I don't really take... So I do agree with what she's saying. You know, maybe that's not how she feels with obviously how I feel about my own self, but how it shapes her face or how she doesn't foresee her is hard to handle. I agree, 100%.
In terms of like looking after your hair, because that statement to me, I think is an incomplete. No, it's fine. I think it's an incomplete statement. So when people say 4C hair is tough, if you don't look after it,
Yeah.
or 4C hair is tough, or it can be tough rather when it's not moisturized. But when you actually look after it, I don't believe that to be the case. When you said 4C, you agree with the statement. Do you agree that it's an incomplete statement? So if you were to look after your hair, it wouldn't actually be like that.
This is the point. This is what gets me aggravated because, yeah, okay, 4C hair if 4C hair or 4C hair that. There's no, 4C hair.
What do you mean?
It's like there's always something attached to it. 4C hair is good if you look after it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be dry, da-da-da-da. It's just not 4C hair. If I don't hear this about 3A hair or 3C hair or looser type of texture hair. They don't say, oh yeah, because you're looking up, because you have 3A hair or looser type of texture hair, it's not going to be a certain way if you don't look after it.
Yeah.
It's just going to be nice and curly.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but that, I get what you're saying, but obviously your hair and my hair, it's not 3C. So we can't really compare it to that.
That's the problem.
But why is it a problem?
Because why can't my hair just be? Why can't
Because
it
that's
just be
just
like
not
that?
your hair type.
That's the problem.
But then why? So I get what you're saying, or I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but
That's the problem I'm facing right now.
which is what?
I had a comment, right? And the girl was like, I'm so lucky I don't have to go through what you're going through. So that to me is like, oh, okay, so you feel like you are happier with your own looser type of texture hair and I go to bed crying because my hair's like this, basically.
But I understand that. But my point is, you wouldn't go to bed crying if you looked after your hair.
No,
Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean, yeah.
It's obviously, if you are going to bed crying, which I'm sorry to hear, you wouldn't be having that experience if you, like, for example, moisturized your hair, or if, for example, you deep conditioned your hair, or if, like, you unlearned the things that you know about your hair and learned new routines. You know what I mean? Like, I have type 4 hair, and, like, my hair's easy to comb. Do you get what I mean?
See now, okay, right? That's because your hair is short. It's easier to comb. But if my hair, right, my hair is somewhere here, somewhere there.
So
if I were to cut my own hair, it would be easier to comb. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But let's say if you actually grown your hair, like people, like I said, there's natural hair gurus, they've grown their hair to a certain length and whatever. Yeah, it's easier to comb because of, you know, deep condition, whatever they do to their hair. So what about the women that don't do that?
I'm not following.
So what about the women that don't take care of their hair? Is it a problem if they don't?
Yeah.
Why?
Because their hair's not gonna be easy to manage because their hair's not being looked after properly.
But this is the thing, I don't hear a lot of, you know, lighter skin-toned women complain about this thing.
Yeah, but
it's only us type of women that were like, your hair's like this, you know what to do with your hair, you're a black woman, you should know what you're doing. But I don't know what I'm doing. It's always giving advice. I do this with my hair, I do that with my hair. Or now, no one's telling me what product to use.
Okay.
Or now, everyone's telling me
we're going
routines.
on at different paces here.
Okay,
right? So let's just rein it in for a second. So I want to finish our initial conversation in terms of, like, if you looked after your hair, because that point is I think that is a very valid point that a lot of people are missing. 4C hair can be tough
Mm-hmm.
if it is not being looked after,
Yeah.
right? If we're comparing 4C hair to 3C hair, it's incomparable because they're different textures.
Exactly. Yeah. I
So
agree.
I think that conversation doesn't need to be had because it's different textures. What I need to do in order to look after my hair is going to be different to someone with a looser texture.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of irrelevant because it's like what that person needs to do for their hair, I have to do something different. So let me focus on what I have to do for my hair. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So now we're looking after type 4 hair. With type 4 hair, you need to moisturize it, condition it, deep condition it,
But
all
I
of
don't want to
those
do
things.
that though. I don't. That's the thing. I don't do well with routines, and if I don't do it, no one will. Right? I can go to hair salon. I can do that. Yes. However, I just can't. I don't want to stick to one thing. I just can't be bothered. And I think,
Do you wear wigs?
yeah, I do wear wigs,
Like, what type of wigs do you wear?
synthetic. I don't even human hair. Sometimes I do, but honestly, I don't look after my hair. I just leave it on my head. It's where it is.
Okay.
If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't grow. But I
But
think,
it's not going to grow if you don't look after it.
yeah, I agree.
And so, you know, one thing you said earlier is that you pray to God to have long hair, yeah?
Yes.
There's a scripture in the Bible that says faith without works is a dead faith.
100%.
Have you heard of that?
And I know that wicked people hair don't grow.
Do you think you're wicked? Oh. Okay. So, I don't believe that wicked people's hair don't grow.
Someone told me I'm wicked, that's why my hair don't grow.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
I heard it a few times.
That you're
No.
wicked?
Sometimes I can be a little bit wicked.
And that's why your hair don't grow?
Yeah. If you're greedy, if like your hair don't grow and stuff like that. These are the things, all right, cool. I'm actually happy we touched on that. Because you see there's so much stigma around hair that even like growing up in like a black culture thing was
Where
like,
are you from originally?
I'm Ghana Nigerian.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, Ghana
Okay.
Nigerian.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, you know, sometimes when it comes to do with hair, they're like, oh, your hair don't grow because you're wicked.
Because you're wicked. Wow. I don't think I've actually ever heard that before.
The movies on the Ghana side there.
Okay. Wow. I don't think that's true.
People be saying
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that's a true thing, but okay. So yeah, anyways, we were talking about the viral moment. There's so much to touch on here. This is so layered. This is so layered, right? And I'm happy that we have an expert come in to actually debunk all of this, right? But the viral moment, right, that you chimed in on, you received a lot of backlash for what you said. First of all, before we even get into the backlash, one of the things that you said was that you use fairy liquid to wash your hair. Girl,
That's very true.
why do you use fairy liquid to wash your hair?
I'm in the shower. You get what I'm trying to say?
And the fairy liquid's in the shower with you?
I use washing up liquid for my hair, and this is it, how it's sitting in my scalp. Look. Before I used washing up liquid, my hair wasn't this long. It wasn't this long. Anyway.
So she's making me laugh.
I'm gonna need a drink, honey.
Yeah, she has to take a sip.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
okay. No, because people think I was actually joking. I was being serious.
Yeah, no, you were being serious. You use fairy liquid to wash your hair. And
Yes.
so is that something you've been doing for a very long time? Is it a new thing? How did you introduce that into your wash day?
That's how much I don't care about my hair.
Wow.
That's how much I don't care about my hair. It could be the red one, it could be the green one, the yellows. So I'm washing, even hand soap.
Hand soap.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? The antibacterial one.
Chai. Wendy.
Oh,
Wendy. Oh.
I didn't care. Is this in the shower? And that's why that lady sent me £10 to buy products. And I still don't use the products. It's on my shelf.
Wow.
It's on my shelf.
How did you come to what made you get to that point where you thought, I'm going to use washing up liquid?
I've always used washing up liquid. Even when I live by myself right now. When I was living with my mum, washing up liquid would be in the bathroom. Because don't get me wrong, yeah, shampoo, and stuff like that. But I just wanted my hair washed.
And you couldn't get shampoo?
I don't feel like it. I don't feel like going to the hair shop because number one, I don't feel like it because I don't know what hair texture I have.
Okay.
I'm only now realizing I have 4C hair. If anyone told me, I thought it was 4A or 4B. And I've always, do you know what's so sad about this? Is that even ever since I was a kid, I will be searching up on YouTube tutorials like how to grow my hair, wash day routines and all this stuff. Like I was very, very into it, but I just didn't care enough to implement that myself because of all the issues that was going on outside of that, like school, people's opinions, seeing girls, you know, with their hair all done all nicely. I just had to come into braids, you know, and those braids took about 6-7 hours to do and my head's paining me. But you came to school, you put your hair in a bun and that's it. So it's completely different things. And it's everything I'm saying. There are some women or girls that feel like that. I know my friend does. She went through hell in secondary school because her hair was dry, matted, hair was short. They cast her out. And she still talks about it to this day. And secondary school was like, well, how many years ago?
Yeah.
So, and she doesn't show her hair. She doesn't talk about her hair and is just in the same position as me. Yeah.
Do you feel like if you actually put a little bit of effort into looking after your hair, your experience would be a bit different?
Probably.
So what is stopping you from doing that?
I can't be asked. I can't be asked to keep going. I have to do it for the rest of my life. Look after your hair for the rest of your life. Look after your hair for the rest of your life. I just rather put it in a bun. My hair can get so matted. I don't comb it. It'll fall out. And I'll just look at the hair on the floor and be like, okay.
What's your day-to-day outside of the hair conversation? Like, what's your day-to-day like? What do you do on a normal day?
For me, wake up, do some of my work because I work from home.
Yeah.
And go sleep.
Yeah. Do you feel like you might be, I don't know if this is like a good question to ask, but do you feel like you might be a little bit depressed?
No, I'm not depressed.
No,
I feel like this is okay, that's actually a good thing. Yeah, actually ask me. So many people associate, because you don't look after your hair, you must be depressed or you must be going through something. I just don't know what to do with my hair. I don't know how to cane roll my own hair. I don't know how to plait my own hair. To be honest with you, I can just put it in a bun and just call it a day. Like even sitting down, cane rolling, I have to get someone else to do it for me. Yeah.
But then you said that you've watched a lot of videos and tutorials on how to look after your hair. So when you watched those videos, did you not absorb the knowledge or did you just watch it without actually paying attention to it?
It made me more envious.
Oh.
It made me more envious. I was like, okay, so this is how easy it is and everyone's hair is grown. But I've done these tutorials. I've done these, look after your hair, natural hair girly, black
For
girls.
how long though?
Literally I've been doing it from a very young age. That's the thing, from a very young age. It's so crazy because even I'm talking about this now, from such a young age, I've always had problems with my hair.
Yeah, but
5, 6
so
years
basically
old.
what I'm trying to touch on is you said that you tried those routines, but how long did you do it for?
No duration. I just did it certain time periods of your life, you're like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
Wendy.
So you didn't stick to it?
No, I didn't stick to it. And you know what? My mum would be like, Wendy, you have to look after your hair now. Like you're growing, your hair can't be like this. Because my hair can grow. My hair can grow to a certain extent, but then I just won't look after it anymore. And it goes so matted at the back because I don't sleep with no bonnet sometimes. Or I don't like things on my head. I get claustrophobic. Even touching my toilet seat, I don't like it. Or touching hair products in my hands or feeling all slippery, foamy. I hate the textures. of those type of things, and I don't think is spoken about enough.
What isn't spoken about enough?
The textures of putting stuff in your hair, like it's all wet, it's all, you know, it's everywhere,
okay.
it's all messy. And for me, I'm a sensitive type of person. Like I don't even touch my own toilet seat, you know, or because of things sticking to my fingers. Like I always wash my hands. So that all just being in my hands, I just
don't like it.
I just avoid it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, hearing everything that you're saying, like I said, I think this is more deeper than just not being bothered to do your hair.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think you're gonna get to where you want to get to if you don't do it.
I feel that's your opinion.
Okay, so what is your opinion?
My opinion is if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's not gonna grow
Why won't it grow?
because you're not looking after it.
But why does it have to be that way?
Because that's life.
What do you mean?
Even if you want to look after a flower, you need to look after it.
Yeah, but
in order
that's
for
the
it to
thing.
grow, it's
That's
not
the
just
thing.
gonna grow.
I'm actually happy you said that because a flower just needs water.
Yeah.
My hair needs 10,000 products.
Even if you put water in it, it will still be better than you using.
That's what I was doing.
No, but you was using fairy liquid.
Even if I don't use the fairy liquids,
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
that's it, and let it air dry.
Yeah, but you still need like moisture and things like that.
Someone said I should use Scrimtic shampoo.
Sorry?
Scrimtic shampoo.
Scrimtic.
Yeah,
What's
Scrimtic
that?
shampoo that remove like oils out your hair.
Oh, is that why you was using fairy liquid?
I was already using fairy liquid. That's what the comments were telling me to use
Scrimtic.
shampoo.
I've never heard of that before. I'm not sure what that is. But you need to like... So my point is, in order for anything to be successful, effort needs to be put into it, right? So your hair's not just going to grow.
Clarifying shampoo.
Clarifying shampoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be better than
I didn't know that. That's
fairy
the thing.
liquid.
If I didn't make this video,
Yeah.
I would just thought buying a normal shampoo.
Okay. Yeah,
For
there's so
£1.
many different things that you can put into your hair, but you have to actually put in the work.
I did. I went to the hair shop and I asked the Asian guy. I said, "Please show me like what I can do." with my
Yeah.
hair." And he helped.
I saw
me.
that video.
and I still got dragged. So I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Let's talk about the dragging. How that was quite intense.
Yeah.
You know, just going through the comments, unfortunately, it wasn't a moment of education. It was, you know, people didn't use it to educate you. It was more of a like, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
How did you feel in that moment?
I felt like this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Nobody wants to give out advice. They want to give out judgment instead. Yeah, I had a few comments every night. Yeah, do this, do that. But it was more mainly girls like me that are saying the same thing in my comment section. And it, like I said, it made me feel so low about myself because I was like, this is literally taking me back to year 7 or year 11. You know, that, wow, it's still not changed.
Yeah.
If my hair's not a certain length, they won't care. If my hair was long and I was saying that, they'll be like, your hair's long though, so it doesn't matter. But my hair's short, brittle, and it was the size of my bun was the size of a man's little thing. So they were like, what? What's the point? Cut it all off. That's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Yeah. Well, listen, this conversation is this is so layered, right? And I'm so glad that I have brought in a hair care expert to continue this conversation with you and give you the advice that is specific to your hair type. I have invited the owner of Nyla's Naturals to come onto the show and give Wendy all the advice that she needs in order to care for her hair and hopefully get her to the dream of having long hair. But also unlearn certain things about her hair and begin to love her hair and, more importantly, love how she sees herself. So help me welcome to the show, kameese. Hello.
Hello, gorgeous.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. So before we get started, kameese, please introduce yourself.
Kameese Davis. I am the founder and CEO of Nyla's Naturals. We are a textured hair wellness brand. So we don't just focus on hair care, we actually focus on hair wellness from the root. So I think with Black women, especially, these are the type of products that we need. It's not just about styling, it's about how do we maximize the health of our hair using ingredient technology and the advancements in ingredient technology to ensure that we can maximize full length retention, but also hair density as well, and just really fall in love with our hair in its natural state.
Beautiful. So the reason why Kameese is here is obviously to give Wendy advice, and to anybody else watching that may struggle with looking after their hair or just needs more advice. And I thought Kameese would be the most brilliant person to speak about this because she is so knowledgeable on all things natural hair to the point where she's created a whole brand. So all the questions that Wendy you might have, please feel free to ask Kameese.
Okay.
But before we get started on that, Kameese has been listening to the conversation prior, and I just want to get your thoughts on, you know, what you think about everything that Wendy has said.
Wendy.
Hi, Kimmy.
I think a lot of the stuff that you said really highlighted a multifaceted issue. It's not, in my understanding, it's not just about your hair. It's about your belief and understanding inherently about your identity as a Black woman and how that feeds into what you think about your hair. So some of the things that I found quite concerning was the discourse around childhood memories, and how that shaped your opinion on your hair texture being 4C and the way that it grows. Some of the things that you mentioned was, you know, being a child and having to sit for hours while your hair was being done, the negative connotation around your hair texture being closely linked to your dad's side of the family genetically as opposed to your mom's side of the family. You also said a phrase that really made me pause for thought, which was people with short hair are wicked, right? And it's like, where does all of this ideology come from? And I think we need to think about, as Black women, it highlights the importance of really feeding self-love into our children, racial esteem into our children. And I think from what you said, that was lacking in your childhood, right? And so these negative connotations has formed neural pathways in the way that you think about your hair. And therefore, your disregard for your hair, in my opinion, is a trauma response, right? It's, I don't like this. I have such negative opinions about this that I'm not even going to try to care for it because it's not going to be what I want it to be. And it's understanding, where does that come from? Where does that Eurocentric ideology around beauty and looser curls or straighter hair being more beautiful than tightly coiled textured hair, such as 4C hair? And we need to unpack that. And that doesn't just come from your environment, it comes from wider society, what's projected in the media as beautiful. For example, even in our own magazines, amongst our own community, there has been a prevalence of showing mixed race women with looser curls over Black women with, you know, coilier hair. And then when they do present a Black woman with coilier hair, God forbid her hair is short, right? It has to be long in order to be seen as beautiful. And we need to unpack that, right, as a Black community, because until we do, we're going to be constantly raising children that have to unlearn those negative self-perceptions instead of just knowing. So when I started the brand Nyla, and I named it after my daughter, I started it because I wanted Nyla to know from her earliest memory that everything about her as a Black girl maturing into a Black woman was beautiful, that nothing needed to be changed. And our hair is such a core component of our identity. It is a unique texture. In fact, it's probably the biggest racial signifier because no other race has our hair type. There's other races with the same skin complexion, for example, but no one else has our hair type. So it's the biggest racial signifier. And if we don't like it, what is it saying about our opinion on our race? Right? So for me, when I was growing up, very much like you, I hated my hair. I hated it. In my early 20s, I would not leave the house unless I had a wig, weave, bonnet, something covering what naturally grew out of my head because I thought it was so horrible. And then, thank God, I stumbled into a Black History course with Robin Walker, and I started to learn about Black female identity, who we were, like women like Nefertiti, women like Queen Nzinga, and their contributions to society, not just the Black race, but our contribution to global society and infrastructure. Right. And then slowly, my hair became a symbol of pride. I was a Black woman. No one else has this. Like, I love this. And then when I found that when I was wearing wigs, I was like, I don't like this. This isn't me. And so I started to learn, okay, well, how do I care for my afro? What does it need? What is the chemical structure of my hair? How do I maximize my genetic potential? And how do I love myself inherently and showcase that through the beauty of my hair? And that took time. And I think that's something that we need to do. So when people are dragging you and saying, oh, you don't love your hair, you don't love yourself, you don't, try this product, it's deeper than product. It's going back to understanding, who are we as Black women? Do I love that? And does my hair reflect that love that I have for the community that I belong to?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Right?
100%, I agree with that.
Another thing that I heard you say, and please do interject when you need to. I heard you say that my hair doesn't grow. And this is a misconception that Black women have about the potential of our hair. It pisses me off to see Black women say a few things. One, that our hair doesn't grow, or that if we just care for our hair, it will grow to our ankles. Not Ngoso, right? Not Ngoso, because first of all, our hair does grow. But biologically, genetically, it does grow at a slower rate than other racial groups. And on top of that, and I know people are going to come for me, but this is because they don't know the research that has been done into this. On top of that, if we look at the way in which our hair grows, our hair is elliptical. That's the word. It's elliptical in its shape, which means it's not round, it's flat. And then because of the way it pushes through the hair follicle, it curls because it is flat. And hair that comes from a flat follicle has different weak points along the hair shaft, right? So it's more prone to breakage. On top of that, stem cell metabolism that happens inside of the follicle is slower because the process of hair protruding from the structure is a little bit harder. Does that make sense? Right? So Black hair grows at a slower rate and it's more prone to breakage. So whilst we do have the genetic potential in some instances to grow really long hair, because it grows slower and the hair has to go through what's called a hair cycle, it might enter into the other phases, which is the telogen phase or the catagen phase, before it's really reached its full hair potential in terms of its length. Does that make sense? Yeah. And this is why caring for the hair fiber and the structure is so important if you want to achieve the genetic potential of your own hair.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
No more washing up liquid.
I won't use that.
Yeah, no more that. We got you some, girl. I got you. We got you some stuff, right? And on top of that, when you run out of this, call me and I'll send you some more.
Oh, thank
right?
you.
And that's out of love. Because I want nothing more than for you to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I am fucking beautiful.
Right. I haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will.
Thank you.
You will. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
You are.
Sorry,
No, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I mean, you did that more beautiful than I could ever do. You're very educated. And Wendy, based on everything that Kameese has said, has that kind of sown a seed in how you kind of see things now? Is there anything that you want to ask Kameese?
I feel like, yeah, definitely is. Having this conversation with you, I don't know if you was even looking at my face, I kept looking elsewhere because I was just like, this is something I didn't know, and it just brought me back to when you were talking. I was like, I remember my head being I was so...
Just say it, honey.
So I'm just getting emotional because I just remember my head being like laying down on the bed and I'm going backwards because of inversion, making your hair grow upside down. So I was like, okay, I'm going to massage my scalp. I'm going to lay down, edge of my bed, upside down, massage my scalp for 10 minutes just to watch it grow or just to see something happen. So I'm getting like literally flashbacks of me attempting to grow my hair, but I didn't know hair, grows flat and then coils or all these other things. And hearing you speak, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So what people's telling me online, do this, do that, it's not what you've said.
See, there's the internet is a dangerous place. It can be a place to learn, but it can be a place where you learn negative hair habits that are not conducive to maximizing your hair's potential, right? So I remember when a celebrity cooked up a kitchen concoction in her house with avocado, mayonnaise, egg whites, all of this stuff, and she's saying, this is what I use to grow my hair. Fart, right? It's foolishness. Because when you start to understand that actually the molecular compounds and the structure in the raw material in its rawest form, it's too big to penetrate the hair in any meaningful way. So it's not going to help. And just because she learned how to stop hair breakage, which she has a different hair type as well, doesn't mean that that was the reason why her hair stopped breaking. And you need to look for credible sources of information online if you're really serious about hair care and hair wellness. And fuck length.
Yeah.
Length will come if health comes first.
Right.
So your focus shouldn't be, I'm going to do this because I want long hair. It should be, I am going to start implementing hair care habits to have healthy hair.
Right.
And once your hair is healthy, it's hydrated, it's moisturized, it's coming from a healthy scalp mantile, i.e. you focus on the skinification of the scalp, then your hair will grow. That length will take care of itself, right? And it might never get to your ankles because you don't have the genetic potential to do that. But once you start loving your hair, then that doesn't matter because you'll learn how to work with it. And you'll look in the mirror like Medi does and she'll be like, but this is gorgeous. This is amazing. I love this.
I just wanted to ask you a question because I feel like even though I'm hearing about hair wellness and all this stuff, I feel I can go outside and someone say, well, you have short hair, so you're kind of masculine, or you kind of look like a man right now. And a lot of, Black women, because they have short hair, is your man. So I don't, sometimes even what you're saying right now, I still won't feel comfortable to show my hair.
You won't, darling.
Yeah, until when maybe there's a heavy change within not only myself, but with my hair as well. But now knowing what it is.
Yeah. I don't think the change is about your hair. I think the change is about you. It's an internal change. It's about really unlearning and relearning and changing the neural wiring, which will inherently change how you see yourself.
Right.
Beauty is subjective. So somebody could say you look masculine, but because you love yourself, you don't care. Someone could say, come up to me and say, your hair's nappy. I'd be like, okay. Okay, that's your opinion. It doesn't affect me because that's not what I think about me. And so you need to, and it takes deep work, darling. It's not just this conversation. You are not going to come away from this conversation and automatically the opinion of your hair has changed. It takes deep work. But eventually you will start to notice that the way you think about yourself starts to change.
Yeah.
And that's the most beautiful thing. But you have to be committed to that process. And then when you start loving yourself, the way you treat yourself starts to change. The environments that you go in start to change. It's not just about your hair. The way that you eat starts to change.
Yeah.
The way that you show up and speak starts to change because you love and value you. I think your disregard for your hair is a symptom of a much more complex issue, which requires you to be around people who show you who you are. And maybe if people around you are telling you you're not beautiful, change the people around you.
Yeah.
Right? You're a reflection of the 5 people that are closest to you. Who are they? What do they think? What do they read? What do they engage in? Do I want to be like that? Do I want to start to change it? Yeah.
That's real.
That's real, right?
Real. Yeah, it's really real. Yeah, that's really good. Wow. Because I didn't see what you've just said. I'm thinking about 5 people and I'm like, I didn't see no one take care of their hair. No one.
So then why would you?
Why would I? And it's the same thing. Oh, hair this, like they have problems with their own hair.
Yeah.
But I think it's due to their own stresses and all things. And I think it's got dumped onto me as well, I guess. Yeah.
Based on the information that Kameese has given, one thing that you said quite repetitively was just like, I can't be bothered. I just wear my bonnet and go. And even the information that you've said now is even helping me. I think I look after my hair, but things that I can implement into my hair care routine. Is this something that you feel like you are going to be more equipped and more willing to look after your hair?
Yes, I would try. If I'm not going to lie, I'll definitely try my best. Because I think I'm the type of person that get frustrated quickly if I don't see results. I'm like, it's not working out for me. And because of everything else going on already, because I've tried so many times, I said I'm just not going to be bothered. But having this conversation, in a weird way, this has made me care more about my hair.
That's good.
And you have to commit to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Motivation comes and goes. Motivation's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? If you rely on motivation, you'll never do anything. You have to commit and say, you know what? I'm going to give my hair 6 months. In 6 months, I'm going to commit for 6 months. I'm going to wash my hair weekly, because this foolishness about, remember, I don't know how old you are, but I'm old, girl. So it used to be like, you don't wash your hair because dirt helps your hair grow and grease helps your hair grow. We need to wash our hair weekly, at the maximum every 10 days. We need to deep condition our hair weekly, because remember I said there's so many weak points along the hair shaft, right? We need to clarify the scalp, because we don't want buildup, because buildup is going to impact on follicles. It's going to suffocate follicles. Suffocated follicles produce weaker strands of hair. And we've already got challenges as Black women with how the hair pushes out of the scalp. And so we need to take that time. Black hair isn't difficult. It requires patience. And that's one of the things I said to my daughter growing up. When I was doing her hair as a child, one of the things I did was I made it a beautiful routine. And it was, okay, Nyla, mom is going to pour some love into you now. And your hair is so delicate and so beautiful that it requires patience. So we need to sit together, we need to put a movie on, and we're going to delicately care for this beautiful crown of hair that you have on your head. It wasn't, this is tough, this is rough, we can't. No, it was, mommy has to be gentle because your hair's delicate. And mommy, your hair requires more moisture because it's thirsty, right? So we need to constantly hydrate your hair, as opposed to saying your hair's tough and dry. And so she started to learn those self-constructs. And so with her, it's, oh, mommy, my hair's thirsty, I need to hydrate it. Or mommy, can we take some time to do my hair because I know my hair's delicate, I can't handle it roughly. And so she has this amazingly big afro, right? Which she loves at 16, at 15, she loves. Nobody can't tell Nyla about her hair, she loves her hair. And so I think when you use your products, you know, get some candles, put on some soft music, get the products out and say, this is time for me to pour into myself. And don't think my hair is difficult. Think this is a moment for me to love on me. And then slowly your association with caring for your hair will start to change. Right?
Yeah,
I got some stuff for you, mama.
Thank you so much.
That is beautiful.
I love hearing especially the idea of like candles and stuff like that. Because right now I live in a hostel, so having my own type of self-care or routine is never existed. So now seeing that, I'm like, okay, I can do some things here and there. Get some, because I'll be in that, like in my hostel, coming on home, like, what the fuck? Well, I'm going through my life, and I'm trying to,
Put your life on same way and be like, you know what, we're changing the conversation. This is self-love time.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to join me in this self-love routine where we're going to be patient and care for our hair and get your skin and love rub. You do the whole thing. Top, bottom, everything. Right?
When it comes to women care, I don't really understand it, because obviously I've seen, people around me care for their skin and stuff like that, but our hair was always a problem where, but even the African people, when it comes to bleaching, skin was more important than hair. If you have short hair, okay, cool, but your skin is much more better. So I was like, I'm thinking more about that than my own hair. Yeah.
Well, we're changing that conversation. We are changing that conversation. So before I ask you, because this conversation isn't just for Wendy, this is for anybody else who is struggling with their hair, want more information, want to start their natural hair care journey, want to be confident and look, because natural hair isn't just for running errands. Like, you can be, look at me, glamorous, fly mama with my natural hair. No one can tell me nothing. Like, I love my curls, and I wanted to make sure that we came on camera and show that you can be glamorous with your natural hair, So for anybody that wants to get to that point, I want us all as Black women to get to that point. Absolutely. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So do you have any more questions for Kameese before I move on?
I'll wait for questions.
No, go for it. To ask your questions.
I think it's so deep. I feel like I even want to take a little time. I just want to take a little time, because I think what you said is still on my mind as well. Because it's
a lot to process.
I had a very negative mindset.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the type of person that thinks black and white. I'm like, if it's shit, it's shit.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing it. I'm just like, there's another way.
Now there's areas of grey, right? A bit more colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before we get into the questions, Wendy is being gifted a whole hair care package from Nyla's Naturals. Like, don't say we don't gift you her, girl. Don't say we don't put you on.
Thank you.
So can you just talk Wendy through what she is going to be using on her
Do you mind
new...
if I open this package for you?
Yeah. On her new natural hair care journey. Yes. Ooh.
And the packaging was designed to reflect our cultural identity. So we used Ancora style packaging or Ancora style patterns in the packaging, just to reflect inherently that this is for us as people of Black descent. And that was really important to me. So weekly wash, 7 to 10 days maximum, wash your hair. This has biomimetic pea proteins in there, which means that they adhere to the hair and mimic the keratin of your hair, and they can penetrate into the cortex of the hair, which is going to help with hair resilience. So it's more resilient to breakage and manipulation. So Strength and Shine shampoo. Then you're going to follow up with our Super Botanicals conditioner, which is going to bring hydrophilic, which means water binding ingredients into the cortex of your hair, because a hydrated cortex is a happy cortex. And that's where water needs to sit in order for hair to be pliable, right? And then you've got your leave-in hair cream, which is going to deliver hydration and moisture to your hair. And because you're a type 4 girly, you then want to seal that moisture in with your oil-based product, okay? Oils and grease do not hydrate the hair. They don't. So if you're going to put oils on the hair, make sure your hair is hydrated first, because oils and water don't mix, and it will block the hair's ability to absorb hydration, which is water. Yeah?
Okay. Makes sense.
As a daily kind of moisturizing hair protector, you're going to spritz this daily just to deliver that hydration and moisture to the hair cortex. So that is your hair care products. And then we have your hair wellness. Now, Thrive was created because I have something called CCCA, which is a very aggressive type of alopecia. believe it or not. I've been diagnosed with it 3 times because I wouldn't accept the diagnosis. So I went to 3 different trichologists and dermatologists, and I was like, okay, I have it. I have CCCA. And what that is, it's a type of scarring alopecia, which basically means that my immune response causes scarring to the follicles, which kills and suffocates the follicles, and my hair will stop growing if I allow that inflammation to happen. And because I understand that I have this, I implement practices so that that inflammation doesn't take place, right? But so I created Thrive to support women who are experiencing various types of alopecia at the early to mid stages of hair loss. And what this has in there is several peptides which work in different ways to encourage hair growth. So we have, for example, in here, a glycopeptide, which encourages stem cell signaling so that the follicle can produce hair strands in an effective way. We have another ingredient in here, which is curcuma longa, which works by prolonging the anagen phase, which is the phase in which the hair grows, and also supports hair anchoring. So if you wear braids, for example, in that tension, it makes your hair follicles larger and more anchored, so more resilient to the weight of pulling. And there are other things in here. It also helps to create a healthy scalp environment. So it slows down the production of melasthesia, which is a fungus that sits on our scalp, which causes dandruff. So the scalp is just healthier and happier. So you want to be using this once a night, just massage, and that will help to support hair growth. It will not turn you into Rapunzel, okay? So have realistic expectations, but it will definitely support hair growth. Okay,
I'll use that as well in my prayers.
Well, so based on all of these products, I'm going to ask you, well, not just these products, but the information that you have. Like I said earlier, I know that there are a lot of people that maybe struggle with their hair care journey or just want more information. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And yeah, just answer how you see fit. How do you define healthy natural hair? And how can Black women shift their mindset away from length as the main goal?
So as I mentioned before, healthy hair is hydrated hair. Let's start there. It's a hair strand that is happily hydrated and also has cuticles that are aligned along the hair strand that are closed and not damaged, right? So once we start to damage cuticles, which think about it as like shingles on a roof, it lies along the shaft of the hair. And once those cuticles are damaged, the hair cortex is exposed. And this is where you get like excess dehydration. This is where you get hair that's snapping, that's weak, that doesn't have great elasticity because the cuticles aren't intact. And so that is what healthy hair is. You know, healthy hair is understanding your hair's porosity, your hair's density, your hair's length capacity. And once we move that focus to that, I think the length, if you have the genetic capability for length, will take care of itself.
Lovely. In your experience, what are the most common misconceptions Black women have about caring for their natural hair?
I mean, one of them is that natural hair is tough. No, it's not. And you know what I don't get? The thought that a wig is easier.
No, please. Can we talk about it? Can we actually talk about it?
Nice.
How is plucking, bleaching, what's that thing that you got to do? Band for an hour. Melting, curling, doing all of that. How is that easier? It's if you're going to put that effort in, you might as well put it into your natural hair.
I disagree because I think wigs are easier than natural hair because I can just pluck it. All right, cool. It takes me a couple hours. Pluck, melt.
Takes you a couple, girl.
Takes me a couple hours, maybe 2 hours, just to pluck, melt my hair and stuff like that, and go about my day. I can remove it off my head as soon as I go to bed. But with natural hair, it's a consistent attention, and I think that's the problem.
But isn't a good wig consistent attention
I can
because you
dash it
can
in my
pluck it and
room
let it go,
and
but
out.
then after a while it'll get matted, right? If you don't care for the wig, it will get
course,
matted.
yeah.
And so that same attention that you're giving to hair that is not yours, you can give to your hair. I just don't think it's easier. It's where you put your attention.
Okay, I disagree because I think it's easier in the texture, and I'm not dealing with the same texture. I'm dealing with a different type of hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, my time is shortened by that.
See, and I love that we're having this discourse because I disagree with you. I don't think that straight hair is easier. It's not easier for me. You know, my niece is mixed race, beautiful girl, thick hair, type 3 curls. And I remember she came around and when she was young and I was like, okay, I'm going to do your hair because come on now, right? And I took her hair out thinking that I would know how to care for her hair because I have 4C hair. It was not easy. It was a challenge for me because every time I untangled with my hair and my daughter's hair, I can detangle it. And then that section's done and I can move to the next section. Every time I detangled her hair and left it, it would tangle back up again, right? So it's not about it being easier, it's about what you know. So you have learned how to care for straight hair. So for you, that's easier because that's what you know. For me, caring for my Afro textured hair is easier because that's what I know.
It's so interesting you're saying this because I was like, if I were to ever have kids, I'll cut my kids' hair off.
Why?
I just didn't want to deal with the hair. And I think it goes actually really deep where I was like, I don't want to date within my race so I can avoid that issue.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard people say that before.
I think for me, personally speaking, what you said about the 3 hair, the type 3 hair, like getting tangled again when you've just detangled it, it just goes to show that every hair type has its, has its issues or has something that you have to learn or its requirements, right? So like Kameese said, you've learned how to manage a wig or you've learned how to manage straighter hair. But if you were to hopefully, with the products that you've been given, put that effort into managing your own hair, hopefully you're going to unlearn the things that you know about your natural hair and you're going to actually find that actually looking after my 4C hair isn't actually as difficult as I found it to be because now I have the products to look after it and I'm putting that same effort that I once upon a time put into wigs, into my natural hair. And hopefully that view that you have on like, oh, my hair isn't nice, or it's gonna, hopefully it's gonna change, you know what I mean?
But
I want to go back to something you just said.
yeah, of course.
That was really profound.
It was
really profound. And I want to give that the room to explore. And it was, if I had a child, I would cut their hair off because I don't want to deal with it. And because you said it, I know that there's other women out there who think the same or perhaps doing the same. So I don't just want to speak to you, I want to speak to those women as well. And I'm getting emotional because I want to say, don't pass on that inherent inferiority that you feel about yourself to your children, right? The child's brain, neuroplasticity in a child's brain, it's at its most optimum in that what it learns at this early stage is what it begins to self-identify as. And if you do that to a child, what you're teaching them about themselves will stay with them for a really long time. You're teaching them that they are inferior. I can't even get my words out. And we need to start dismantling this belief that Black women and Black girls are inferior. Because until we do as a community, we're going to continue to experience challenges in how we love ourselves and love each other. And that has a lot of social, economical, and psychological ramifications.
Let me
I'm
get you
so
a tissue.
sorry.
Let me get you a
I just
tissue.
want a break as well.
You want a break? Yeah, let's take a break.
I haven't, like, so,
You okay?
yeah, I just feel like, let's go, it's like all my words all gone in my head. You know, like, off topic of this, but like growing up, obviously as a black kid, even saying too much about your mum is a bad thing as well. And I'm not trying to look down on her, what she's shown me or whatever she's told me. I feel like, wow, there wasn't that much information.
It wasn't. Your mum did. I don't know your mum.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make any assumptions about the type of woman that she is.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do know is that people do the best with the information that they have
Yes.
at the time and what they expose themselves to. There is a unique opportunity where we sit in this information
So
age.
sorry to interrupt you. I actually have my mum's story to tell.
Please.
Her story actually makes me very upset as well.
Should I get tissue before we get into it?
I have a spare one, girl. I have a spare one.
It's so crazy. I have mum's story because it just brought me back. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, my mum's gone through this before, and she loved her own hair so much, and yeah, she loved her own hair, and then unfortunately something happened with a family member, and they ended up cutting her own hair. And she always says this story. She goes, I tried to stick it back on with whatever I had, like with cream, and tried to put it on my own hair. And she never forgave the person that did that to her because her hair was long.
Yeah.
She looked after her hair.
Yeah.
And just her saying, I tried to stick it back on with hair cream, and it just never was the same again. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hearing this conversation, I was like, wow, it's very deep, especially as a black girl. Even looking at my mum, her being a black girl, she didn't understand her as well.
Yeah.
And obviously she was in Ghana. There's a big culture of cutting your hair in Africa. So the reason why they even cut her hair, it wasn't because of a problem, it was punishment.
Yeah.
It was punishment. They cut her hair because of punishment.
Yeah.
And obviously after a while, because you've been going through this, you're gonna have a negative stigma around your own hair.
Yeah.
I think it's so deep.
It's deep. And you know what you said is you would replicate that for your daughter if your daughter didn't have a hair texture that was desirable for you. And then that could be replicated again. And where does the cycle stop? The cycle has to stop with you. Like, you have to break the cycle of inherent inferiority in terms of how you present as a black woman. That's your responsibility and your work to do. I love who you love, right? But don't go after somebody because you want your daughter to have a certain hair type.
Right.
Like, what's that? That's saying that I need another race in order to produce a beautiful child. Like, what is that?
It's so negative.
That's so
And it's something I've been thinking about for a very long time. If I were to ever have children, it's because I know what I have to deal with. I wouldn't want her to go through that same thing.
Yeah.
And it's another thing as well, because of how I didn't care about my own hair, about routines. I wouldn't care enough to do her own routine.
Yeah.
And that's the most honest I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care enough to wake up and do the whole deep conditioning and all that stuff. I wouldn't. Because I don't do it with myself. But the beauty of this is, if I tried, and hearing what you said about patience and how you talk to your daughter, it made me realize, oh my gosh, if I didn't hear this today, I would have done what I was gonna do.
Yeah. And neuro hardwiring takes time to change those neural pathways. It takes time, especially when we're adults, because it's hard wiring, there's calcification, right? And so you need to understand, if there's one thing I want you to leave with today from this conversation, it's that I am going to give myself the patience and the time needed to start to change the way I think about my hair.
Yeah.
And understanding it's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to be committed to the process, because the freedom you will feel and the joy you will feel when you're able to step out of your house wearing nothing but yourself is a feeling that can't be replicated. I didn't know that feeling until I was 26 years old. And I remember stepping out my house with my twist out, and it was just me. There was no addition. There was nobody else's hair. It was all me. And I remember stopping and I thought, wow, like I've never had this feeling before. I always felt that I had to hide something, but actually me in all of my glory is just enough. In fact, more than enough. It's exquisite. It's beautiful. And I want that for every Black woman. And it's not about we can't wear wigs and we can't wear weaves. And one of the beautiful things about being a Black woman is our ability to have creativity and versatility with our hair. We can do braids, we can do weaves. I would never be a natural hair Nancy, for want of better words, to say you have to wear like your hair like this in order to love your hair. You don't. You can experiment, you can play. But when all of that comes off, do you still look at yourself in the mirror and think, you know, I'm bad, I'm beautiful, I'm still a baddie?
No, that's something I like. When all of this all comes off, I don't see myself as beautiful or baddie. I just think it's actually crazy. I've got videos of me saying, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I always compare myself to a guy because I've got PCOS as well. So sometimes I get like a hairy uplift. My hair's not done. I've got this as well. So it's like, but I didn't, yeah. So it's just a lot of things I've
There's a
got.
lot.
Yeah. So it's like I wanted to feel comfortable to go so deep in, but this is so deeper than I thought.
Yeah.
I hope you do feel comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And Mede, because it's not, I think one of the disappointing things for me was seeing how quickly people dragged you, oh, old mama, how quickly people dragged you online, how negative the conversation, it turned into an opportunity to project negativity onto you, as opposed to an opportunity to say, sis, there's a different way to think. And there's a different way to feel. And let me show you how you can get to that place. Right? And I think we can all be keyboard warriors, but until you take time to understand where a person's coming from, try and lead with love instead of criticism. And that's to the people out there who took the time to be negative towards you.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much.
This conversation is a lot deeper than I think any of us anticipated. There's a lot of like deep-rooted issues here, you know, and just how we see each other, how we see ourselves, and I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to get emotional, but I'm feeling it. It's happening. But yeah, like it is deep. It is very deep. And yeah, I'm really grateful for this conversation.
Thank you, Medea, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Kameese. I mean, I still have a few more questions because I still think I don't want to go on forever, but I still think there's like a few questions just for people to know out there. Like this one, with so many conflicting advice online, how can Black women learn to identify what actually works for their hair? I think that's really important.
That's a really good question. I think firstly, we need to make sure we're following credible people. We need to be looking for trichologists, dermatologists, brand owners, people who have actually done the work to understand the science of Black hair and can share that information from a scientific perspective and not a folklore perspective. And then it's taking that information and executing it for yourself in a way that works for you, right? And that is a little bit of trial and error. Sometimes we just have to go through that process. But when you find what works for you, stick to what works for you, right? Paige Lewin, we all love her. Yeah, she's amazing. Big up Paige, big up Paige.
Big up Paige.
And her incredible book on how to love your afro, right? She's got some fantastic concepts and resources in there that will really help you to start to identify what your hair needs. There's another book called The Science of Black Hair. Again, a phenomenal read, which will help you to understand your hair and its own texture. And I think these are some of the things we need to do because there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, of course.
Selfless plug.
Of course.
Nyla's Naturals, we have a wealth of resources online, on our blogs, on our social channels. We always make sure we do the research to understand the evidence behind what we're saying before we put it out there.
Thank you. And last question, just to round up. What advice would you give to Black women who are just beginning their natural hair journey and struggling to see the beauty in their hair?
That's a big question because it's layered, it's multifaceted. But I think the one thing is be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Be patient, be kind, and be committed to the process. And I would say that self-understanding, not just for you as an individual, but understanding the collective group, i.e., the historical context of being a Black woman and how that has shaped our self-perception and our identity will help to feed into the process of self-love and self-identification in a way that builds that racial esteem. So you become so proud of the group that you belong to and yourself as a Black woman that you just start to care for your hair and care for yourself and adorn yourself and present yourself in a way that reflects that pride, right? It's not just about, I'm a brand owner and I'm saying this, it isn't just about product. It is also about understanding the impact of Eurocentricity on the individual and on the collective group and starting to change that. And I would say Robin Walker is a great place to start.
Is that a book or a woman?
Robin Walker is a historian.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called When We Ruled. And it really delved into the contributions of societal contributions of Black African people prior to the transatlantic slave movement. And for me, learning that, what I knew about my history before learning that was that we were slaves. How can someone be proud of that, right? But when I started to learn, no, actually, we were architects and astronomers and doctors and leaders and engineers and all of these fantastic things. That's who we are. And then that identity of belonging to that group changed what I believed was possible for myself as a Black woman.
Love that.
Yeah, that's really good because it's so crazy you're saying that because obviously I'm Ghana Nigerian. We all speak English in the house. Mum doesn't really cook African food and stuff like that, or she's like typical African mum. So understanding culture or understanding our background was something that I didn't really get. But having this conversation now, it's like, okay, now I see why it's deep rooted because I don't know myself. I basically don't know myself. Yeah.
And that's the foundation. Knowing yourself is the foundation of self-esteem and racial pride.
Yeah. Hey. I feel like we need to sing Brown Skin Girl. But no, honestly, Wendy, thank you so much for coming. I genuinely hope that this conversation, it wasn't just more of a conversation of your viral moment, but it was something that you feel like, it's the beginning of something, beginning of finding yourself, finding your heritage and loving on how God created you, your beautiful hair, you know,
Yeah.
like
Thank
having,
you.
like investing in your curls and your texture, learning that your texture is beautiful and all of that good stuff. And yeah,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
using Nyla's products.
Made with love.
Made with love. Make sure you guys check out Nyla's hair products. Like, I've been using them.
Yes, it looks
yes.
nice. You know, I'm so happy that you had leave-in conditioner. The cream. Sorry,
Yeah, man,
leave-in
it's bad,
cream.
man. My cream's bad.
Big your
Love
thing up.
it.
Big your thing up.
Because I hate leaving the normal leave-in where it's watery, everywhere's going on my skin. I hate it. So I like that it's cream.
Yeah.
It's so much better for me.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to check in with you in a month's time to see how, you've been using the
Yes.
products. Since you said you do content, I would like to see the content.
Yes, of
Yeah?
course, I'll post it.
We're all holding Wendy accountable. Yes.
Yes, I
I'm
would
here to
mind.
share your experience with our product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that, of course.
Amazing. And Kameese, girl, thank you so much for coming.
Sis.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your experience. It got very emotional.
Yeah.
Again, none of us expected it to, but that is I think that's the passion behind our hair and who we are. Like, it is always going to be deeper than just the surface level conversation. It's always going to go quite deep, which was good to share that and have that moment with you. Definitely, Kameese will be back on the show to just talk about her journey in its entirety. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to hit Kameese up. Tell the people where they can find you.
So our website is nylasnaturals.com, and you can find our range of products, but also more importantly, information on how to care for and love your hair. And you can also find us on socials. So on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Lord God, the team do that. I know. But we're there, nyla.uk. You can find us there as well.
Okay, fantastic. I'll put everything in the description bar below. You guys can easily find Kameese and her amazing company. Wendy, please let people know where they should follow you as you are starting your content creation journey.
My name is Wendy on TikTok, so it's sorry guys.
You're good, girl.
So my name's Wendy, so everywhere on It's Miss Wendy Talks.
Okay, we'll also put that on screen so everybody can find you. But guys, yes, amazing interview. How are you guys feeling?
Firstly, thank you for inviting me to have this conversation.
You're more than welcome.
Honoured. Thank you. And Wendy, thank you for being so vulnerable with me and trusting me with your vulnerability. I'm really honoured. It was a emotional, but I think needed conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wendy, how you feeling?
Honestly, God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you so much, because it's a lot to think about. Even now, I'm just like, when I get home, definitely have to think about this. I'm like, wow, you've truly helped me. And thank you so much for these products. I'm going to use it, and I'll show everyone my journey as well.
And sis, reach out if you ever want to talk about anything that we spoke about today. Like, I'm here for you, right?
Thank you.
Reach out.
Appreciate this so much.
Oh, that was so cute. I love you, babies. But yes, thank you both again for coming. Like, it's been amazing. It's been refreshing. It's been refreshing. I'm going to go home and comb my daughter's hair with love. Say, your hair is so delicate. It's thirsty. It needs water. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been watching the Midday Show, the interview section on the record. Take care, guys. Until next time. Bye.